Good afternoon, my dear students. Today we are going to see reproductive health strategies in India, population explosion, and birth control. Let us see in an elaborate manner. In the late 1940s and early 1950s were decisive years for India, a newly independent nation. While certain leaders were busy charting the country's economic policies and growth, others were formulating policies that focused on the people's reproductive health, a concept encompassing total well being in all aspects of reproduction, including physical, emotional, behavioral, and social. These policies led to the establishment of the Family Planning Association of India in 1949. In 1951, the government launched a series of action programs and plans called Family Planning. This move catapulted to India into a select group of countries that chalked out of a national family planning program. Later in 1997, the government initiated the reproductive and child health care programs that focused on creating and spreading awareness about various reproduction related aspects such as contraception and infertility, as well as providing and supporting facilities. Today, the government, along with the family planning experts, is continuously chalking out strategies to address the latest challenges arising in reproductive health. For instance, people in rural India still don't have access to information relating to sex and reproduction. Hence, various governmental and non-governmental agencies have been roped in to propagate information. Experts associated with the family planning have also realized that today's youngsters depend on the internet as well as other resources, including movies, friends, and magazines, to learn about sex related aspects. However, information gathered from these sources may or may not be reliable. Moreover, at times, the information can create myths as well as misconceptions and even unhealthy attitudes towards sex related aspects. Therefore, these experts are advocating the need for sex education in schools. They argue that it will go a long way in imparting correct and relevant information about sex. Moreover, it will also make youngsters aware of social evils like sex abuse and sex related crimes and the steps they need to take to fight such social evils. Experts also believe that people, especially adolescents, should be sensitized to hygienic sexual practices such as cleaning one's genitals, sexually transmitted disease, AIDS, adolescence, and related mental and bodily changes, which in turn will ensure a reproductively healthy society. Another strategy to improve reproductive health is by educating couples as well as individuals of manageable age about birth control options, gender equality, pre and post pregnancy care. Such education will also decrease maternal as well as infant mortality rates and limit the size of families. In fact, the government had created a strategic plan for 2005 to 2009 that had 5 action areas, namely access, advocacy, adolescence, AIDS, and abortions. Providing expert medical care and assistance to people on wide ranging uses, including pregnancy and delivery, STDs, abortions, menstrual problems, and infertility is another step taken by the government. Moreover, the government has also set up research centers that aim to find solutions to reproduction related problems. One such center is the Central Drug Research Institute in Lucknow, which is credited for developing Saheli, an oral contraceptive for women. Apart from setting up research centers, the government is also establishing hospitals and medical centers, especially in the rural areas, to provide an impetus to medically assisted deliveries as well as to provide postnatal medical care. This will help bring down maternal and infant mortality rates as well as encourage couples to have smaller families. The government is also conducting mass immunization programs to bring down the infant mortality rate. Did you know that the government has banned amniocentesis, a fetal sex determination test based on the chromosomal pattern in which the amniotic fluid surrounding the developing embryo is drawn by inserting a needle in the mother's abdomen? In this manner, the government has initiated a lot of programs and plans to build a reproductively healthy India. At the dawn of independence, India was an underdeveloped country. With this population having no access to good medical care, life expectancy was just 32 years and infant mortality as high as 180 per thousand births. However, living conditions improved as the government built hospitals, educated people about health related issues, and conducted immunization programs. These steps nearly doubled the life expectancy rate and lowered the infant and maternal mortality rate. But with the birth rates remaining more or less the same, this led to population explosion, a situation where the population of a country far outstrips its sustaining capacity. In fact, India's population, which was 350 million during independence, went past the 1 billion mark in 2000, making India the second most populous country after China. Demographers fear that if the current birth rate of 1.7% is not lowered, India's natural and economic resources will be strained, depriving many of even basic necessities such as food, clothing, and shelter. To arrest the population growth, the government has raised the legal marriage of an age of girls and boys to 18 and 21 years respectively. The government is also using the media to drive home the benefits of having small families. Moreover, government agencies are also actively encouraging couples to go for contraception, which is an intentional prevention of an unwanted pregnancy. Through the use of contraceptive methods can be broadly categorized as natural or traditional methods, barrier methods, intrauterine devices, oral contraceptives, injectables, implants, and surgical methods. Natural methods, the oldest form of contraception, work on the principle of circumventing the chances of the sperm fertilizing the ovum. There are three types: periodic abstinence, coitus interruptus, and lactational amenorrhea. In periodic abstinence, couples abstain from copulation during the fertile period. which occurs between days to 10 and 17 of the menstrual cycle. This is when the ovulation or the release of the egg occurs, which increases the chances of conception. Another natural method is coitus interruptus, which is also known as the withdrawal method, during which the male withdraws penis from vagina before ejaculation to avoid insemination. Lactational amenorrhea, or the absence of menstruation during lactation, is another natural method which works on the principle that lactating women don't menstruate for up to 6 months following parturition, that is delivery. This is because the hormone oxytocin, which stimulates milk production, also suppresses ovulation. Naturally, without ovulation, conception can't occur. Lactational amenorrhea, as well as other natural methods of contraception, are safe and have no side effects, as there are no devices, medicines, or hormones involved. However, natural methods aren't very effective compared to other contraceptive methods such as the barrier methods. This method makes use of either a condom, diaphragm, or cervical or vault cap, which act as barriers to prevent the sperm and ovum from meeting. Condoms, which are available for both men and women, are made of thin rubber or a latex sheath, while condoms for males are rolled over the penis. Condoms for women are inserted in the vagina, where they block the sperm's entry into the reproductive tract by covering the cervix. Most couples prefer using condoms since they are cheap, easily available, and offer privacy as they can be self-inserted. Moreover, condoms also offer protection against sexually transmitted diseases such as AIDS and syphilis. The condom, however, can be used only once, and every new coitus session requires the use of a new condom. While condoms are available for both men and women, diaphragms, cervical caps, and vaults are meant only for women. These dove-shaped barriers are made of rubber and are inserted in the vagina. Did you know that the contraceptive efficiency of a barrier can be increased by applying spermicidal creams, jellies, and foams? That's because these products contain chemicals that will kill sperm. Another contraceptive method is the use of intrauterine devices, commonly called IUDs. These are used by couples who want to delay pregnancy or space out their children. IUDs are tiny T-shaped devices that doctor insert into the uterus through the vagina. There are many types of IUDs, ranging from non-medicated IUDs such as Lipas loop to copper releasing IUDs like copper T, copper 7, multi-load 375, hormone releasing IUDs such as progestastat and LNG20. Each type of IUD works on a different principle. Non-medicated IUDs, for instance, work by increasing the phagocytosis of the sperm that reach the uterus. while copper IUDs release copper ions that obstruct the ascent of the sperm into the fallopian tubes as well as reduce their fertilizing ability. On the other hand, hormone releasing IUDs make the uterus inhospitable for implantation by thickening the cervical mucus, which makes it impossible for the sperm to enter through the cervix. Apart from IUDs, women can also use oral contraceptives called the pill. This is a small tablet containing small doses of either progestogen or a combination of progestogen and estrogen. Progestogen thickens the cervical mucus, which hinders the sperm's motility, while estrogen obstructs the pituitary gland from producing luteinizing hormone, which prevents ovulation. Ideally, a woman should take the first pill of pack within 5 days of the menstrual cycle and continue taking it for 21 days. During the next 7 days, when the pill is not taken, the woman experiences her menstrual cycle. Following this, she needs to start taking the pill again. Progestogen alone or in combination with estrogen are also available as injections or implants that are to be placed under the skin. However, in comparison to pills, they remain effective much longer. While women have several contraceptive options, men have only 2 options for birth control: condoms and a terminal surgical or sterilization method called vasectomy. In this case, a tiny part of the vas deferens is removed and then tied to the scrotum by bearing a small incision on the same. In tubectomy, a sterilization method for women, a minuscule part of the fallopian tube is removed and tied up through a small incision in either the abdomen or through the vagina. Both tubectomy and vasectomy are successful methods of birth control, but they are irreversible and should only be adopted if a couple wishes to have no more children. In addition to surgical methods, couples today have several other contraceptive methods to choose from. However, before opting for a particular method, one should weigh its pros and cons and seek a doctor's advice, as some contraceptives can cause side effects such as abdominal pain and irregular menstrual bleeding.